Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let's see. First. How are you guys doing, Travis? There in northern Alabama.
We are doing great. Actually, a little bit on the chilly side. Nothing like what you're dealing with, but it's it's been cold rain all day long and just miserable cold rain. And I looked, and 100% humidity and 40 degrees is not fun.
No, no. It's been nasty weather here, but it's actually like I was telling Mrs. Squarebody today. It's like this is actually the winters I remember growing up.
Yeah,
It's more normal. It's just we've gotten used to not having the winter precipitation. It's just the last few years. It's just been bitter cold,
yeah,
colder than normal. Uh, but now this is more of a regular winter for us. But we had about 10 inches of snow last week. Lost power for almost 2 days, and then
oh yeah.
this week we got some freezing rain, and now yesterday, and then today it was sleeting and snowing, or yesterday's freezing rain, sleet, nasty everywhere, and then today it started snowing again. Not a whole lot, but maybe an inch or two, and so. But I'm ready for spring.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, I think we got a little bit more winter left before that happens.
Yeah, I had a comment on a Facebook post from a fellow Missourian saying, you know as well as I do that winter ain't over yet. We've still got February to go to. I said, I know I'm expecting it to drag into March this year, but
Yeah, it's kind of been a weird year. Like we were in Colorado, but Alabama had bitter, bitter cold there for a couple weeks in December, and then it really hasn't been super cold. But this has got to be the wettest winter that I can remember since we've been
yeah,
down here. It's like it rains every day. It's a swamp in front of my garage.
yeah. So I'm gonna go through the
Got a
chat,
lot
see
of
who
people
we.
in the chat already.
Yeah.
This Square Buddy stuff got commented first.
There's actually Buff had commented first before it even started. That's who I was replying to.
Yeah, I
Colleen.
noticed how premieres do that. They disappear when they happen way before it
Yeah,
starts.
not sure why, but makes it look like I'm talking to nobody. But Colleen is here. Shellman, where's Perpetual Project Quality Control? Mohawk 62 is here. Buff is here. Let's see who else. I thought I'd seen somebody else.
Yeah, there's a few
I
more
think
down there at the bottom.
Bubba Ayers is here. Jacob Carter. Richard is in here. Tasha, she's here. And Mongrels, way up from Canada.
Yeah.
Jacob with Busted Grill Garage. Of course, I've been just looking at the names. I haven't really been reading what they're writing.
Yeah, Mongrel's Garage said, "Ha, talking about cold yar."
yeah. Ugly Truck Experience. Emily and Jay are in here. We've got quite a few. It's showing 15 on the count. So, yeah, it's hopefully wherever you guys are at, or you're nice and warm and all that stuff and having a good week. Our topic tonight, we're going to kind of cover, it may only take us 5-10 minutes, and then we just talk about whatever. I don't know. Just the topic was our favorite things to do mechanically, or like in the shop or on a project, and the least favorite thing. So, because I think we've all got, that one or two things that we would love to do, and then we've all got that thing or two that we do it and we may kind of enjoy it, but it's a least favorite. So
Yeah.
I got Turbo Tom just popped in.
Mrs. Scorby said it must be cold in Alabama. It's pretty cold, but more than anything, it's raining. And with that tin roof on our garage,
Yeah,
I tried last week and it started raining and I couldn't hear anything in there. So I
yeah,
decided to come in here where we got insulation.
yeah.
And there's a heater right behind me, so that helps too.
I was in the shop pretty much all day yesterday trying to do some filming, and I didn't get anything because every time I'd get ready to do something, it would start sleeting or freezing rain really hard. You can't hear anything. So
Yeah.
it's not conducive for filming when it's like that. But I'll let you take off with the subject matter of what is your favorite and least favorite things to do in the shop, or
I'm gonna start off with I'll go with my least favorite to start with.
Okay.
And so I kind of had two prepared for this, because it's not drive shafts. Funny enough.
Yeah.
My least favorite part of a project is bodywork. I absolutely hate doing bodywork. I love the finished product. I like painting. I like when it's shiny at the end. I don't mind like hammering dents out and doing the metal work and like putting fenders on and things. I absolutely hate Bondo and I hate sanding. And even like Richard and I were kind of mulling over this a little bit earlier. I even don't mind sanding, like when you're wet sanding the primer for the final sanding and you're getting it all and it's all straight, and I don't mind that so much. I hate doing filler. I hate, when you've got to build it up and sand it down and build it up and sand it down, and I that's my least favorite part of a project. And then mechanically, my least favorite thing to do that is like a mechanical thing is anything to do with hydraulic fluid. I absolutely hate the feeling of hydraulic fluid on my skin and the smell, and I don't like hydraulic oil. I don't like it on me. Anything to do with hydraulic oil, I don't like it. Brake fluid, hydraulic oil, my dad had a gravel pit, and we'd have to change hoses and stuff on the loader, and it doesn't matter where you stand, when you take the hose off, it sprays you. You could get on top of it and it'd figure out how to way to drip up.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. I've never liked the feel of brake fluid. It just has a weird, I don't know, gritty texture to it, I guess.
It feels nasty on your skin.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with you on the body work thing. And like Buff said, that's maybe why I'm a big fan of patinas, because
I don't think I have anything that you could consider patina. It's just old and ugly, but
yeah.
And I do like doing body work. Like I like the result. I just hate the process to get there.
Yeah.
And I really like painting. Like that's one of my favorite things to do is paint. I like spraying paint. I'm okay at it. I'm not good at it, but I do enjoy it. But as far as getting the body work, the body work portion is the part I don't like. I don't mind doing the metal work. I don't mind doing the primer and color sanding and all, but I absolutely hate sanding filler and doing that step of it.
So what's your favorite thing to do? If that, I don't know, I guess makes you the happiest, or
so I get a lot of satisfaction of taking things apart, cleaning everything up, fixing its problems, like like just like uh the one that it comes to mind because it's about to happen is like, so the steering column in the CJ, I'm going to blow it apart, I'm going to sandblast all the parts, I'm going to paint everything individually, I've got all new bearings and seals and everything, and putting it all back together, and when you get done with it, it's like it'll be like a brand new steering column. I enjoy that part of things. I like taking things that like one of the things that I do whenever I get a car, I enjoy taking all the stuff that's been hacked together and not finished and not done right, and I like taking it and making everything work the way it's supposed to, and and just kind of restoring it back to the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to work. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not meticulous enough for like a concourse restoration type project, but like making things work the way they're supposed to. And I enjoy the hunt. I like, so getting a vehicle and then going and digging through like the junkyards to find the parts that I need to put it back together the way it's supposed to work. And I just like putting stuff back together kind of like stock in certain
Yeah.
situations. I'd never do that with my race truck or anything like that, but like my Magnum, that's one of the things I've strived to do is get it so it's right, so everything works the way it's supposed to, and all
Yeah.
the parts are where they're supposed to be, and just everything's put back together the way it's supposed to be, and I enjoy that.
Yeah. To sometimes undo the hackery of others, or just undo
Or my
the
own hackery sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you on that, because I like to I enjoy that too, as far as, you know, just making things work the way they're supposed to and doing it right. Uh, Sometimes you have to make modifications, or make stuff yourself, kind of do it yourself thing, but it still works and operates sometimes
Yes.
better than it did from the factory, and
Yeah.
I enjoy that too. Let's see, we've got first responders popped in, and two hacks garages popped in here. Let's see, mongrels is, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always fun finding the project.
Yep. I've I guess for me, I mean, my least favorite thing to do, and it's not that I hate doing it, it's just my finished product is just never right. I actually enjoy doing it. It's wiring.
Yeah.
I like wiring stuff up, and making things work, with the way I want to. Like, I've done some stuff on this, on a old squeaky here, with my two-step, for the two-step ignition box. It's actually activated from the original switch on the clutch, that would, your safety switch on the clutch. But I
Yeah.
had to modify the clutch and move the switch to where it was, uh, well, in the certain area where I needed it on the clutch travel. So I had to modify that and wire it in, and make it work the way I wanted to. But the thing I hate the most about it is I never get my wiring run to where it looks good. I can't. I'm never happy with the end result as far as aesthetics.
I agree
Uh,
with you. I usually try to hide my wiring because I'm the same way. I never like the way it looks when it's done. It's
yeah,
like you always have to me, like you see these guys, and I'm in awe of them, that when they get done wiring something, it's like perfectly straight
yeah,
wires, secured, and I mean it's pretty. It's like artwork, and I don't, maybe I don't have the patience, or I'm not meticulous enough. But I can't do that. I like
yeah,
mine ends up in split limb with electrical tape and zip ties all over it.
yeah. And the times that I've actually got something wired in and really took the time and got the wiring run and aesthetically looks. I'm happy with it. It doesn't function properly, or I have to change something, and then I have to split it all apart, and then it just goes back to kind of a cobbled mess just to make it work.
And that's so that, and I'll agree with you there too, because I like it seems like when you get it perfect, it's not going to work. Something's wrong, and you have to take it
Yeah,
back apart, and then you never get it put back together again.
yeah,
So it looks as pretty as it did the first time. I hear you there.
yeah. My uncle says anything under the dash. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, that could get a little. It's just hard to do under the dash on anything.
yeah.
Uh, and I guess my other thing that I didn't think about when I come up with this topic was, and when you brought up body work, I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. Surprise, surprise that you and I are alike on this, but uh, you know, and I don't mind the filler work. I don't mind all the body work. I used to do it, and I'm not a professional at it, just like everything else I do. I'm not a professional, but I've just done a
Yeah.
little bit of everything. But it kind of goes along the same with the wiring. I just don't. I don't take the time. I don't. It just never comes out exactly the way I want. And but the end result, the painting, I love painting, and I mean that is actually one thing I did professionally for a lot of years. It wasn't automotive; it was in a cabinet factory. But I sprayed, uh, for 12, 14 hours a day, top coating cabinets, high end cabinets, and
Oh wow.
uh, so I've done a lot of painting, and I've also done several cars, different projects, and I can lay down some paint, but without a spray booth and without the proper tools, because I'm not set up to do body work in this shop, I just don't like even attempting it because I know it's not going
Well,
to be what I want it to be.
I realized when if you saw we painted the four-wheeler, the
Yeah,
the that four-wheeler is not very big, right? And we
yeah,
didn't put a lot of paint on it. And there is overspray everywhere in my garage from painting the panels on that four-wheeler. I don't know how you
yeah.
I don't know how there's any paint on the four-wheeler. With as much as around my shop, I don't know how we got any on the four-wheeler itself.
You got a green mist in the whole shop.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, the green wasn't the bad part. We painted the racks first, those black, the front and back
Yeah,
racks, and the black overspray is everywhere in the garage. I don't know what it is about that black paint, but it
yeah.
just got
Uh
home from
oh,
a 5 hour Uber ride towing my semi. Ooh,
uh-oh.
that
That don't
stinks.
sound good. Uh, yeah. The last thing I painted was the exhaust underneath cream puff, and I just got some high temp, silver paint. Uh, Mainly, I was just going to do the joints where I welded to keep it from rusting anymore, and the ones I just welded to keep it from rusting, and because I didn't do that 2 years ago when I put that exhaust together, and so I just spray bombed it underneath there, and I went. Of course, nice thing about that, I'm not worried about runs.
Yeah,
I used one of my when I worked offshore. His theory on paint is if you ain't got runs, you ain't got enough paint on it,
there you go.
and it just killed me because I'd be spraying. That was part of our job is to, as the low man on totem pole, we chip away the rust and primer and paint, and I was spraying, and if I get a run in it, man, I get aggravated. He's like, oh, you just finally got enough paint on there. He wanted to see runs everywhere. I'm like, that just irritated me. But
Yeah,
I've got, what I was getting at is you talk about the overspray. My belt, which is black, is got silver speckles all over it. I'm like, what in the world? How to get overspray or speckles all over my belt? But I had drips I had drips on my shirt and everything. It just Mrs. Squarebody's like, "What'd you get on? What is on your shirt? It's silver." I said, "It's paint."
So that reminds me of a funny story. When I had my diesel shop, there was a couple guys there that were paint body guys, and they were painting a semi. And I don't even remember how it all happened, but somehow I got tricked into spraying the clear on this truck because the guy was supposed to come in and spray the clear, and he had to go trucking, and so they were sitting there with open base coat and no clear on it. So they talked me into coming in and spraying it. Well, I wasn't even thinking. Go in, put my respirator on, spray the whole truck, get done, and realize I had my Oakleys hanging in my shirt the whole time.
Oh no!
They were frosted. I managed to get it all off there, but
Yeah.
by the time I got done spraying that truck, they were completely frosted with clear. Yeah. We were
Gonna
gonna.
go
So you got Amber's
turtle
comment up there.
Yeah. They're gonna have some fun at No Name Nationals or
Yeah.
next time we get together. And but yeah, that's wiring and body work is two of my least favorite things to do. It's not because I absolutely hate it. It's just, you know, it's time consuming, and I never have enough time to make it exactly the way I want. Of course, my favorite thing to do is if I could just do that all the time, maybe just building engines or engine work.
Yeah.
And building carburetors. I could, if I had a pile of carburetors and stuff, I could, I just love messing with them.
Yeah.
And the tuning, and that is one thing I've learned to just take my time and not rush myself, tuning and playing around, trying different things, and that's why I've had the carburetor that the carburetor's completely back apart almost that I just put together for this truck because I got it on there, started adjusting everything, and needed to make some changes. Like, well, it's easier for me instead of leaning over everything, just pull it back off and work on the bench. And so I've got it back apart, and I've been trying to make a video of it, but with the weather and everything else going on, I just haven't had a chance to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could just, I love that engine building the best, and which it's a thing that I take the least amount of time to do. That's why my stroker motor's still sitting the same way it was for the last 3 weeks. Even though it's my favorite thing to do, it gets put off to the last.
The problem, like we've talked about before, the problem with engine building when you don't have a dedicated place to do it is it's all consuming, because once you take the bag off that engine, nothing else can happen in the shop until the bag's back on that engine.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I hate bodywork so much is once you start doing it, you ruin the entire shop for years afterwards. It's forever to be a dusty mess in there after you do bodywork in a shop.
Yeah, it's just a mess, and then it's almost you're almost committed, because once you start doing the body work, until it's sealed up with paint, you can't get it out in the weather. You can't, you almost have to have a dedicated space just for the body work. And right now I don't have that, so I don't do a lot of body work. Now, the metal work is fine, but let's see what we got.
Another one that I guess I really enjoy is fabricating stuff, just making different parts. I really wish I had more of the tools to do it properly, but even with the little bit that I have, I enjoy figuring out how to make the tools I have work. There's a lot of stuff I'd really like to have. Like, I really want a lathe. A lathe and a milling machine are on my dream sheet right now, but I don't have anywhere to set one up in the garage, so there's no point in buying one. But I can think of so many things when I'm, working on something. If I just had a little lathe, I could make this part, or a milling machine. I could make this process so much easier. And that's that's one of my favorite things. Amber, you don't need the best tools to make it happen. No, and that's what I'm enjoying about it right now, is figuring out ways to do it. But some stuff you have to have the right tools. Like there's no way to bend a roll cage without a tubing bender. There's no way to weld without a welder. You've got to have some stuff.
Yeah.
And there's workarounds for other things, but
yeah, and that's, metal fabrication. That's another thing I've done professionally for many years, is metal fabrication. All sorts of different stuff, not just automotive, but when I ran across that tubing bender, I can't remember what I get for it, but I basically stole the thing, and I thought it was a misprint or a hoax, or on Facebook Marketplace. But, I mean, I messaged the guy, and he said he still had it. I'm like, okay, and it was like an hour and a half away. I drove there and looked at it. He's, showed me what it was, and I was like, so what were you asking for it again? And he repeated the same price I seen on the deal. But okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was legit. And I said I wasn't sure. I wish I could remember. I was thinking it's less than $100.
Oh wow!
And I was like, wow. He said, man, he said I just want to get rid of it. He said, and no one jumped on it. He said, you're the only one ever that even messaged me about it. I said, probably they were thinking the same thing I did. It's just like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe so. But.
And you have like a JD squared style bender, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. It's the same style. It's a cheaper brand. I can't remember the brand of it. But I think the JD squared dies and stuff will work in it.
Okay.
But the dies themselves are like $400.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous. And it came with 2-inch die, which is great, but I really need like 1 inch and 5/8. But yeah, I love fabricating stuff with metal. And like you, I don't have all the tools right now to do everything I used to be able to do, like I did in shops that I worked in, which, having access. That last shop I worked in, I done a lot of fabrication in, had it was like a 5x10 CNC plasma table.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I could, if I needed something, I would draw it up on the computer and take it in there and put a sheet of steel up there, and I'd plasma it out. I had designs for beadlock wheels, bumpers, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. But then, it's like, in my mind, I don't have that anymore. So it's like, well, I can't do that anymore. Well, all you gotta do is take a cutoff wheel. It takes longer, but you can still make the same thing. It's just, I had access to all that stuff, so it's like, it's hard to go back to doing it the old school way, but I can still do it. But Steiner here, he's local to me.
Okay.
I think you need to get a better fuel filter. The best thing you need to do with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, like you was saying, a mill. I've got that mini lathe, which is great. But a mill would be really nice. I finally did. My boys surprised me. They bought me one of them small tabletop drill presses.
Yeah.
And because I've been wanting a drill press for years, and they surprised me, brought it over. So here you go. It's like, that was that was awesome and I used it all. As soon as we got it set up, I was using it on this carburetor build. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this works out great. I'm drilling stuff out with it, and like, man, this is just awesome.
I really need to get a vise for my drill. I was using it the other day, and something got caught, and it tried to take my hand off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it don't have a vise yet, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, and I had that drill press sitting in my garage here for 2 months and never even turned it on once. I'm like, why am I'm over there in the vise with the drill trying to drill holes and twisting my arm, and why am I not using that nice drill press I have over there?
Yeah. Well, and, like I said, I've got my lathe, and I'll catch myself putting stuff in my drill and trying to turn it, or hold the grinder and trying to round stuff off. It's like, just chuck it in my lathe and make it right.
Yeah,
That's still
perfectly round.
Yeah. There's ways to bend tubing without the tubing bender.
I suppose that's true. I just don't know if I want to go that route on a roll cage for my truck. I think that would be way more time than I want to put into it.
Yeah, we've got Arrowhead Garage. We've had a bunch of people pop in. I'm not keeping up with the chat as good as I should. Two Hacks just became a member. Thank you, Two Hacks. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, Andy 347 495. What was his other name? Reloading Fun.
Yeah, Reloading Fun.
I have a lathe. After having one, I don't know how I could live without one, and I can understand that. We had a Bridgeport, a big Bridgeport, when I had my diesel shop. Never had a bunch of tooling for it, but the little bit we got to use it, I really would like to have. I don't want that big one. It was a monster. I think it had a 5-foot table on it. It took and it was 443 phase. It was huge. Not anything that I'll ever need to run here at my awesome.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's like that combination belt and disc sander you guys just got. We got, well, actually the one I've got I bought for Shelman for Christmas, and it ended up back in my shop, so it worked out great. But
nice.
It's just ours is just one of the cheap ones, small ones from Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
But it's just it's really handy.
I've been using. I'm gonna wear that thing out in the first week. It's been on. It was on all day today.
Yeah, it's a super handy tool. Even the cheaper ones, they're super handy. Actually, the splayed main caps that I put on my little stroker motor here.
Yeah.
To fit them, they leave a lot of extra material on the registers, and I actually use that belt sander to get it kind of roughed out to get them pre-fit and everything to the block. And then I went to sandpaper on a piece of glass and really get them real close. And then I left just enough that once I took it to the machine shop, they could finish it out. But to just get them to they won't even fit in the registers of the block until you do some work on them. But that machine there was close enough. It's not precision, but I could move it around and work it to where, and to check it, I was using, calipers and all that stuff, making sure
Yeah.
everything stayed square and straight and everything. But
Yeah, I mean, and I was making some brackets for the Jeep today, and I can get, compared to what I can do with a grinder, I can get a precision flat surface on that
yeah,
belt sander compared to what I can do with a grinder. And I could get it straight and probably as straight with the file, but that takes a lot of work.
yeah, yeah. It's a handy tool to have, and my leather work that I do sometimes. Uh, when I'm gluing a couple pieces of leather together, make a wallet or something that's stacked on my wallets, I'll have 3 or 4 pieces of leather glued and stitched together, and to finish it off, I'll actually put it on my belt sander to get everything nice and smooth and round the corners a little bit better, just to really give it a good finish before I burnish the edges. And it just
Nice.
it's a really handy tool. So Izzy's thanking you for helping them with the U-bolts on the Vagrant.
I'm not sure what video he's talking about that I don't remember making a video on that, but maybe with the one where we're doing the U-bolts on the back of the red
Yeah,
truck.
maybe.
I'm glad I could help, even though I didn't know I was going to.
Yeah. Well, that's part of YouTube, is
Yeah.
putting stuff out. And
I mean, that's like a lot of times you pick up stuff from a video that isn't even the focus of the video, just seeing how somebody does something in the background. So
yeah, and that's why on my videos it seems like I leave more in there than what I think I should sometimes. It kind of drags the video out, and even if it's just a time lapse, but I try to show most of the process of whatever I'm doing, because for me, when I'm watching a video trying to learn how to do something, or seeing how somebody else does something, it's like they just kind of jump. They don't actually show, even if it's just taking screws out of something or putting screws back in something,
yeah,
just the little things. Like, well, how, maybe not something that simple, but it can be something that simple. Just like, well, what did they really do? I mean, it goes from everything being apart to everything together. Well, is there a certain way stuff needs to go together, or it's like, so I try to put stuff in, and hopefully somebody can get something out of just the extra time, just to showing everything.
yeah. So he's talking about actually at No Name Nationals.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I did so much there, and it was such a whirlwind. I don't specifically remember helping him, but
Yeah.
I you're welcome, and I'm glad I could help, but I don't
Yeah.
remember that I came by and seen he was having a problem. I don't recall that exactly, but
he was under the car on the hauler. No, Andy, the 339 is going in squeaky, my step side. Maybe on down the road, because my dream or my long-term plan is to have fun with the 339, but eventually I want to put a big block in this truck, because I love big blocks. The 339 is just a fun project that, I just want to show people how much money I guess you could waste on a 305. not not just waste it, but just because
I think
just show what you can do with them. Huh?
How much power you can make with a 305 if you're willing to spend a lot
Yeah.
of money.
And I guess basically, in a way, I don't know if it's a the myth or whatever, but lack of a better term, debunk the myth of 305s can't make any power. And I've had the coolest thing with that 305 project, even not even including the 339 part of it, is I still get comments almost daily from the videos I put out 2 years ago of this truck, just playing with the 305. Just, it's like I get comments, a lot of comments like, man, I didn't know what to do. I've got a 305. I just want some more power, but I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a whole nother engine, or it's the original engine to the vehicle. And everybody tells me I can't get any power out of it, but watching my videos, that's what they're like, oh, I can get power out of a 305, or 305s can be fun. And that was my point has been made. And now I'm just kind of going beyond that. But going back to Andy's question, eventually I want to put a big block in Squeaky. And if the 339 is still living,
it'll live.
I've thought about putting it into Cream Puff and maybe I'd like to do like a turbocharger or a supercharger, something like that, go a boosted application instead of nitrous for the daily driver. And it would almost bring that truck back to the way it was originally, because it was originally a 305 truck. So it would have a 305 block back in it.
Yeah.
But,
well, you don't have to tell anybody it's a 339. You just tell them it's a 305.
Yeah. Run the casting numbers. Just don't look at the extra weight on the crankshaft or balancer.
It's got one of them new externally balanced 305 cranks.
Yeah. Nope. I don't have anything for sale right now.
Yeah, they've been talking about that. Amber said they don't leave once they come to Square Body Ranch, a rehabilitation center for neglected old trucks. And Mrs. Square Body said, nope, they come here to die.
No. Actually, the only one that I will have for sale right now is that 76 that I got at the auction. Once I get it, I want to get it running. That's the whole plan with that truck, is get it running, make a nice, reliable running vehicle out of it, and then resell it. But I don't want to sell it until I get it to that point.
Yeah.
But that project, like everything else, gets put on the back burner. Let's see.
They drug that out for a little bit there.
Yeah, that's what she meant. They came here to retire.
Yeah. Oh.
They, the ones that are roadworthy are living a good life, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, this truck here was, it was just pieced together. It was one of those trucks that just kind of, I think it got passed around a lot. And now it's got a purpose. It's a, it's my race truck. At least that's what I call it. And actually, I was going to wait and do it on a actual video, which I still will, but, I don't even think I've told you about this yet, Travis, but my local track has, they're going to have a new class this year. They're starting up on Friday nights called the Street Fighter class. And because that's the nights I'll be going there for testing tunes. And I've never really thought about getting into any type of a competition with it, but they've set up a Street Fighter class the first Friday of every month. It's like, it just fits in perfect with that. So it's a point series, 7 races. And so I'm going to try to get Squeaky in this series and see what I could do this year with it. And actually have
a bracket racing class, or is it?
No, it's a no time heads up.
Okay.
So it's it's going to be kind of cool. The only thing I've done competitively with automotive stuff was truck pulling. That was a whole kind of a different thing than this. This is the first thing I've ever done, like especially at a drag strip. It's gonna be it's gonna be a learning experience. It's gonna be hopefully a lot of fun, and actually gives the race truck idea. Yeah, actually race it. It's going to be legitimize my joke that I call it a race truck. Actually, I had a comment on, I think it was Facebook. Someone commented, I never understood the race truck thing. Like I said, I started joking about it being a race truck just because I don't know. I never thought it would be actually a race truck. I was just doing race truck things with it.
Yeah. So Dizzy said he just traded for a 49 Dodge pickup with a 9-window short bed. I'm assuming that's step side model with a flathead 6, has 66,000 miles on it. That sounds like it'll be pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, 47. We're still going. Well, wow, we've only got about 15 minutes, and we'll be going to the after hours live at 8 o'clock or 8:05. I said it for 8:05. Give us 5 minutes to kind of transfer over and get everything going. But at 8:05, we'll be going to an after hours where we won't have any topics. Basically, just carrying on what we're doing here. But I know it seems a little weird, but like only doing 1 hour and then going to a whole nother live. But this first hour, we try to keep it a little more structured and just try to go with the chat. But the after hour show, we invite people to come on live with us. And if it goes a little south or a little off course, we're not too worried about that because the after hour show doesn't usually go public at least on my channel.
Yeah, if it's nice and clean and doesn't get too wild, we leave it public, but we take most of them down.
Yeah, I don't even click the monetization money or deal on my after hours videos, and they go private. So they're still there. If anybody wants to watch them, I could send a link. But let's see.
So Dizzy said that they made a tall bedside and his is a short bedside. I see.
Huh.
It seems like I'm having a memory of that. At one point, I was researching a bed. I don't remember what it was. I definitely didn't know that, but it seems like that spurred a memory that I had at one point.
I don't have any race truck specific merchandise as of right now. I would like to get some shirts made up with Squeaky on it. I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would sell. But I do have a few hats and just some shirts with the logo on it. And I got some keychains I've made up, basically with the same patches on these. I just put two of them together, put a brass grommet and a keychain thing on it. So I do have some of those stuff. We've been trying to figure out how to set up a website to sell the merch. But if anybody wants a hat or T-shirts or a keychain or something, or even the iron arm patches, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, private message, or email me. We'll try to figure something out. But yeah, I was gonna ask you, Travis, seeing that you guys are working on a picture for merch that has your race truck on it that's hand drawn. Who's, if you don't mind saying, is that someone drawn that for you? Because
So that is the shirts that we made for No Name Nationals. Well, this shirt, I'm wearing it right now. Can you see it?
yeah.
My daughter drew that.
Okay.
She drew that for us for No Name Nationals, and then Amber traced it for that shirt. So Amber's the talent there.
Okay, because that's kind of the idea I was wanting of a caricature, I guess they call it, or something like that with Squeaky. Is it like the?
I have a guy.
Okay.
He hit me up on Facebook. He's in Georgia somewhere. Remind me send me I'll try to remember. I'll send you a link in.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like talking about the merch, I think shirts like that would sell real good. But
I'll
yeah, Big Bob's trying to get one done of Candy Cane.
I'm not sure if we're friends on Facebook or not, but I'll see if I think we are. I'm pretty sure if I can find that, I'll send it to both of you.
Okay. If you had to guess which our community would prefer, an automatic or manual, I don't know.
So I said she did a poll. I said,
Okay.
I guarantee you, manual is going to win the poll, but most people probably drive automatics.
Yeah. I guess it kind of depends on the application.
It absolutely does.
And I don't know, the older I get, I'd rather drive an automatic. I've actually, my crew cab buddy, he's a 4-speed. He's originally an automatic truck, but I put a 4-speed in him, done the pedals and everything. But I've actually been thinking about going back to an automatic.
Yeah.
Put a 4L80E in him and have the overdrive and just the convenience of an automatic. But
automatic
if I stay,
in the poll, automatic is starting to gain traction in the poll. It was way ahead for manuals.
Yeah. Big Box may have bought.
Oh yeah. What did you buy?
Suspense is killing me. I don't want to spill any beans. I've seen a Facebook post, I think, or Instagram. And if I had the means to do it, I would not hesitate to jump on the one I've seen.
Now I'm gonna have to go get on Facebook and see if I can find it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is harder to find manual stuff anymore. It's like the Duramax trucks. I think there was only one
awesome.
year.
Sorry, I'm reading Steven's post.
Yeah. I think there was only 1 year that they maybe 2 years that they even offered a manual transmission behind the Duramax. So yeah, I hear you there. My left knee in what it used to be. That's another reason, for Buddy, my crew cab. If I'm actually using them for work, if we're out in the hay field and I'm hauling hay and in and out between the truck and the tractors, my left knee is, yeah, it's in pretty sad shape by the end of the summer. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a pretty smart kid.
Who raised that kid?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. So, yeah, how's your screen printing operation going?
It's a disaster.
Well, we'll leave that as a cliffhanger because we're getting ready to go to the after hours. We'll continue that in the after hours. That sounds interesting.
Okay, then we can definitely talk about that in the after hours.
Yeah.
So, I'm completely over manual transmissions after driving semis.
Yeah.
I got
Oh, there's Steven's 72 door
yeah,
Cornet and 68 Fury.
the Fury is definitely one that's on my wish I could buy one right now list.
I've seen the pictures of that Cornet, and I've always liked those.
Yeah, I like the B bodies, but it seems like, and in the little bit that I've looked for one, the C bodies are a little easier to come by at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But they're both cool, and I the one I really want is I've been watching it. It's a '67 Fury. I just need to sell some stuff so I can go buy it.
I think Andy, I'm not sure if he's maybe poking a little fun at the old SM 465 because I mean I like them. I wish they need two more gears. They need one in between second and third, and they need an overdrive, and they would probably be the ultimate transmission.
Okay, big block. We will discuss.
I'm trying to catch up here. What do you guys?
He said, "I'm going to pull the motor and trans from the Fury to put in the Cornet. Then the Fury's all yours."
Oh, well, looky there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Quality Control, for taking care of me there. That is the link to the after hours show. So everybody, once we get done here in about 2 minutes, we'll be starting up the after hours show about 8:05. That'll give me time to switch everything over to that and put a little more wood in my wood stove that's just on the other side of the camera. I'm cuddled up pretty close to it because it was 20 degrees in my shop at about 5:30, 6 o'clock this afternoon. So HVAC Chad, yeah, better late than never. Yeah, you're not. I mean, you're late to this party, but we're getting ready to start a whole nother party. So make sure you tune in to the after hour show.
See ya, Andy. He said he was joking about the SM465, just not fastest shifting trends at all. Is all.
You can get that. I mean, the one in it.
I said that depends on how hard you pull on the shifter.
Yeah. This one that's in this truck is the smoothest one I've ever drove.
Yeah.
And I hope it lasts. Because it's gonna be hard to duplicate how smooth this one shifts, but it's gonna have a rough life, especially after this year.
Yeah.
Later, Andy. We'll talk to you later. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up and head over to the after hour show. I'll post the link up there real quick again. Everybody copy paste that. Go to that one. We'll be back about 8:05, and I appreciate everybody coming in here. If you're not going to join the after hours,
and we'll see you over there.
Yeah, we'll see you in just a few minutes.